right, before we get started, if you work for either of us in our PR department, please stop listening. Welcome back to Join the Chaos, the podcast where we take you behind the scenes of small business life and everything that it takes to be a marketing and PR guru is what's on the agenda this week. My name is Gabe, and I own Brick Road Coffee here in Tempe.
And I'm Melissa, owner of Drink Me Tea Room.
Yeah, so we're going to dive right in. Very unscripted this week. We're just we're behind schedule. This was supposed to be recorded like a week ago and out yesterday. So this is the life of a small business owner. But this week, we're going to be talking about marketing and everything we hate, everything we love, what we have to do, what you probably don't even realize is marketing for a small business. We're gonna spill all the tea on this. So
yeah, everything is marketing.
Everything is marketing. This is marketing. Yep. Hello, we said our business names. That's marketing.
Yep.
We should be making money off of this. We're not. But yeah, so I always want to start with I think the thing that I didn't realize how often it happened before I started my business. I'm curious your thoughts on pay to play. How many people are out there where it's like even awards that you get? Like there are things like I've won awards where they're like, oh, you want to tell people that you've won awards? This is what it costs to tell people that you won this award.
Yeah, it's a crazy racket, actually. It's like a whole other business.
It's insane.
I mean, we could create our own awards.
The Chaos Awards?
Oh, that would be good.
Wouldn't it be great?
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
Did we just pivot the entire episode?
Maybe.
No,
we'll have a brainstorming session after.
Right, after this. But yeah, it's so many of them. Like there's a ranking magazine out there.
Yes.
And we got an email that we were like, congratulations, you're number one. And I was like, oh my God, that's great. And I sent it to my PR team, which if you're listening at this point, you need to stop listening. PR, Ashley, I see you. I don't really see you, but I sent it to Ashley, and I was like, "This is awesome." And then find out that it's like, "Oh, I have to sponsor my category as the winner." They offer it to me oh so generously first, but then if nobody sponsors it, then the category doesn't get printed.
Yeah, see, that's total bullshit.
I'm just like, what the hell kind of a racket is this BS?
Yeah, I don't think most people realize that most marketing, like traditional marketing, or even I don't think people realize that is marketing. These top 10 lists or best of lists, but most of them cost the business owners money to be involved with it.
Right.
For the most part. Now you can, if it's like a magazine that's printed and it's that magazine's choice of best of, for sure people are paying to be in that.
Yes.
If it's reader's choice, you could potentially be on the list if you market it enough to your email list or your friends, or, trying to get the votes to get nominated first, and then they have to come back in and vote for you. But who's going to do that every day to try to get you not like the winner listed as the winner?
I tried so hard, I think the first 2 years for one of those. And I was like, this is just way too much work for what?
For marketing. For marketing.
Right.
So you can create a social media post or put it on the website. That's it.
I don't need that. And it's just, but even the ones that I think the thing that still kind of trips me out, and I have no way of proving this. So this is all allegedly. My lawyer says allegedly. Even the ones where it's not pay to play, where it's like the best of lists or whatever. There's some where it's like if you don't play nice when they're wanting advertisements over there, they're just gonna like not even consider you. Or even if you are the best tea room, they're just gonna be like, well, they didn't buy an ad from me, so out they go. So it's not even like explicit pay to play like some of them are. Like the ranking ones, that's explicit pay to play. But other best of lists, they may not be explicit, but they're still like, you did me dirty.
You have to play the game. You have to play the game.
Yelp is notorious for that.
Yes. Yelp is Yelp. Terrible. I think everyone...
Can I leave a Yelp review on Yelp about Yelp?
I don't know, but that would be great. I feel like you leave a Yelp review or you leave a review about Yelp on like Reddit.
Yeah. Or on a podcast.
Or in a podcast.
Like we're doing.
Yes. Yelp is terrible.
So bad. They charge you if you see a business page profile on Yelp and they have their logo displayed as an icon, that's a monthly fee that Yelp charges that business.
Yes. And also, if you pay additional fees, then your bad reviews are not at the top necessarily.
Yep.
Which is also bullshit.
Yeah, you can change the sorting of your reviews based off of that type of stuff. Is that Yelp or is that someone else? I don't know. But that stuff exists and it's just it's irritating.
Yes.
It's like everybody's trying to take their little nickel from us for like, just leave us alone. We already have people that hate us because we're gay. Like, back off.
Yeah, it is. Every single thing is a fee.
Yeah.
Some of them are worthwhile depending on the organization.
Yes.
Right. So being part of a few different organizations here, like we've both talked about Local First before, and like I know certain chambers, we're both part of the Equality Chamber. So sometimes there's a fee for their business directory.
Yeah.
Like there's one that just to add some extra keywords in, there's like a fee every month.
Oh.
That one's the One Community.
Oh.
So you can add like safe space or accessible, like there's certain keywords you can add for a fee. But I know that that organization does good work.
Right.
And it's not a for-profit organization, basically.
Yeah.
So that kind of fee, it sits a lot better with me than just a for-profit marketing.
For some of them, I mean, like, let's be real. Like, I've been a member of the Tempe Chamber since we started, but I still believe it is overpriced for small businesses. I feel like it's still not priced with an equitable entry point. But I'm still a member. I still find value in it. And that is marketing for me. And that's being a city-based business. Like I'm a coffee shop in a city. So like I really need to have my roots in the city. It just makes sense for me to be there. But it's a higher fee than I would like it to be, especially when you compare it to like the Equality Chamber, where I at least find more value from that one. Maybe it's because it's like so values aligned with me that it just naturally is gonna hit more boxes, or I'll just feel better about spending that money or whatever it may be. But yeah,
well, then there's also that aspect of it too, right? The annual fee to be a member of whichever chamber or organization it is also marketing.
Yep.
I mean, that's really what you're paying for, right?
Yep.
You're paying to be involved with them and go to their events, go to their mixers, but it still comes back to a marketing fee.
Yeah. Yeah. Even event fees. Like we've done Phoenix Pride now 2 or 3 years, 2 years in a row now. We don't make money selling stickers and crap at Pride. Like we don't go as a food vendor, so we don't take our coffee and stuff. So like, and those booths are ridiculously expensive for what they are, which is frustrating as a small business, like, and as a queer-owned small business. It's like, God, like, can't you like find a structure that like has the mega corporations paying the bulk of the weight, so that way us little queer-owned small businesses could have more affordable access? But that's just another soapbox I'll get off of. But that's marketing. That is a $2,000 booth that I get to get my name out there, so people see that even though we're out in Tempe, we're not in Central Phoenix, we're not in the gay neighborhood, but like we're deeply committed to this community. Like this is us. We are the queerest coffee shop, and I'm going to live on that. So, but that's marketing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. It is. This also, I was surprised at how expensive like event tables can be at different events. To be able to go sell tea or coffee, right? Like some of the events are really expensive. Some are not as bad, but it's still just to participate. There's another fee.
Yeah. And there's no guarantee that you're going to make that money back.
Exactly.
Yes. All right. That was a long rant about pay to play that evolved into some things. Now, what's next on that
Well,
list?
in the pay to play realm is social media ads.
Ugh, I don't consider that pay to play. That's a necessary evil.
It is a necessary evil, but it also depends on like how much you're spending and what the ROI is.
Yeah, the ROI sucks.
Yes.
Like there's no getting around it. Advertising on social media is one of the most frustrating things you can do because you don't know what the algorithm is going to want this week or next week or the week after. And then they tie your hands on what you can and can't say and do and post in the video or photo. It's so beyond frustrating. At least my personal experience from it.
Well, absolutely. And then how many ads can you really afford at one time? So if we have, say, a bingo event, and then we also have Irish tea coming up, which we did in March, but also we want our evergreen ad out there because we have an evergreen Google ad. Well, now I've just, tripled my ad spend to try to get eyeballs on our events. I don't know. I really don't think print ads help at all anymore. I think print ads really are a waste of money.
I think time and place makes sense for print ads. Like, I would agree with you probably about 98% of the time on print ads. But we're in the process of opening our new location. And like, I will probably buy in like their local independent newspaper, I'll probably buy an ad for our grand opening. So I think for major events, when you're entering a new market, you're trying to flood the zone, right? Mm-hmm. And there are people that you will reach with that. And I think it also depends on your business. Our businesses, no. Print is not the way to go for our businesses.
It's also not sustainable.
But for a grand opening aspect, it might be.
See, I don't know. We both have Ashley. We have Ashleys.
They're different
separate Ashleys.
And if they're listening, they need to stop.
They do need to stop. Well, my Ashley is out of the country right now, I think.
Perfect.
I think she left today, so I don't feel like she'll hear it for a while if she listens. But
too late.
She does PR, just like your Ashley does PR.
Yep.
And so even when like we have events coming up, she really, that is an amazing skill set, the PR hat that they wear, to try to get the word out about events or, grand openings or what have you, and getting people to come. That is a little bit different. So I have run into interesting interactions, and I feel like this could also just be me because everything is difficult, where even the local neighborhood papers won't pick up a story about us.
They
will not, because they are friends with some other business that might see us as competition.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been that way since we opened.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy to me. It's a little bit crazy that you wouldn't include all the businesses in your area if something is happening. But that I've run into that as well. So unless I'm literally paying for an ad, they're not going to pick up a story about whatever we're doing or being featured on.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where like I would probably do an ad for the grand opening.
I'm just wondering what ads do you pay for?
So I believe, an evergreen Google ad.
Yep.
And I have an evergreen. No, I just have an evergreen Google ad.
Okay.
And then I pay, I have ads on DoorDash and Grubhub or Uber Eats, one of the two. But those are for new customers only. So like those own,
like a promo.
So if somebody's never shopped with us, it's not a promo. It just like puts us as a sponsored listing, but only for those that have never shopped, which leads me to my next complaint about marketing and advertising and having to be the expert is Google, like DoorDash and them will call you constantly and be like, you need to change your ad because you're not getting the best performance. And it's like, all they want me to do is change it so it's all customers.
Mm-hmm.
So I pay a higher premium on every order I get.
Well, and DoorDash is pretty relentless too.
They are relentless. I've gotten 3 calls in the last 2 days.
Yeah, they're pretty pushy about buying more.
Yeah, but I just hold firm. I don't change it.
Yeah, well, who can afford it?
Right. Like, you want me to pay an additional like premium on the already outrageous fees for DoorDash for all of my orders? Because what they will do is, as soon as I put all customers, is they will know who my customers are and they will put a sponsored listing first on their order. So when they go into their app to order their coffee like they do every morning, instead of Brick Road just showing up where it should, because they order from us a lot, they're going to bump it down and put a sponsored listing above. So when they click on that, when they order, it now charges me an advertising fee.
Well, and that is similar to Google. Like if you're paying an evergreen ad on Google, that'll show up. But if someone's in Tempe, I mean, your site is probably already going to be on the front page of Google and probably close to the top. Just because of the social media network and people coming in and like Google tracking how many people are coming there. Like just naturally, it will organically be on that front page. But then you have a paid Google ad as well. Probably right above your listing. So, but if you don't do the paid Google ad, then I don't know. It's catch-22.
Yeah. All of it is like, because there's no real way to tie anything back to prove that, oh, well, this is what's working or that's what's working. It's just like, it's a hope and a prayer.
Oh, and the whole Google Analytics, we went into that already. Like that's a nightmare. You need a whole degree in Google Analytics to understand it. It's terrible.
Yeah. So the social media ads and stuff like that, I don't run a ton. I need to get one back on for my e-commerce side. That's the only time I've run social media ads is e-commerce or specific events or things that we were doing.
What do you see that gets the most traction? Like just in general, like if you're using social media, because that's our main marketing, right? What are the kinds of posts that you find get the most reaction or most engagement?
Values aligned posts. So for me, I think it's maybe a little unique to my business, just because we are so forward with where we stand on so many things. So like we will get a ton of engagement whenever we are just kind of like, I was trying to think, like we did a letter before Pride. We did a Pride letter on social media where we're like talking about rainbow capitalism and how blah, 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 blah. That got a ton of engagement. All that was just like kind of calling out the BS that is Pride Month before it happens. And just and our community was like, yeah. So we got that. And then the other stuff that we get the most engagement on is people. So when we are posting people and showing our authentic selves, that's when we get the engagement. When I realize that I haven't posted in forever and I create something in Canva, people are like, okay, congratulations, you posted. And I get 5 likes. I don't know. But yeah, so that's kind of how it works. What about for you? What's that look like on your business?
I would say, well, we do a lot of event posting, right? Because we have so many events that, throughout the year. So we're always trying to post for that, for people to see it and to book. But I would say we've had good luck and, mediocre luck with influencers.
Okay.
And the ones that we've had the best luck with were organic. Like we didn't know they were there. They just came in on their own and then posted. And some of those have been the best engagement we've had. We've also done...
we just had a TikToker come in like a couple weeks ago and do that. And it kind of like...
And you didn't know, right? They just came in and did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then there's also we've reached out to different influencers, local influencers to come in and we'll do a trade. Because, capital, Influencers are expensive too, and there's no guarantee.
No.
Like you don't know if it'll hit. You don't
And
know
they
how
don't
many
know.
engagements. Right. It is a crapshoot. Absolutely. So we'll do trades. We just usually can't afford their actual price. So we'll trade like free tea and a cocktail, and then they'll make their reel and do their post. But it's really very random. You just really don't know what's gonna work and what's not gonna work.
Yeah, it's constantly. I haven't tried to do the influencer thing yet. We've had a few people that have like large followings that have posted that have done really well. So like see the value in it, because like the results when that happens are immediate. Like we feel it. Like when that video started going viral a couple weeks ago, like our weekend was like through the roof. So like social media definitely has, and I think you probably feel it immediately too, because you probably get the bookings right away. Like the bookings start rolling in. Or is it a little bit more delayed on your end?
It is more delayed. I think the one time that it did go viral, I did think our email was broken and our reservation system was broken.
Because nothing came in?
No, because there was a reservation booking like every 2 minutes, which does not happen ever. And it was the theme that shall not be named. But when that video went out, it was an organic one. We didn't plan it. We had no idea. It just posted. And then all of a sudden I thought something is broken in our system. I don't understand what's happening. And my phone was just going off. So like it was literally like a booking every 2 minutes and until it basically sold out. But that hasn't happened in a long, long time.
Yeah.
So anything that posts now, I really don't have a way to gauge it. I mean, if something went viral, maybe we would see that again. But the way that the market is right now, I don't even know if a viral video would do it.
Yeah. How do you market in the age of, how do you do your social media marketing in the age of like tariffs and everybody's like just dialing back? Cause like coffee, we always say our businesses are like, they go together. It's coffee and tea. They do. But our core businesses couldn't be more different than any other businesses, because like mine is fast casual, grab and go, coffee shop. Like, yeah, it's that. Whereas yours is it's an experience. It's people are coming to experience afternoon tea and to connect with friends and to enjoy this environment that isn't as, it's not as accessible in as far as like it's a 2-hour reservation.
It is. It's a commitment.
Yeah.
And you have to plan for it.
Yep. So like, and it's also a higher price point. So how do you market when there's just this much uncertainty? Like what can you do? Like, is the answer more ads?
That's really the only lever that we have.
Right.
And right now it's a balance of pushing more ads or just getting real small.
Yeah.
Right? Like if we just like for the month of April, we're just getting really small. Yeah. Because
but now April's notoriously bad. Right?
April is notoriously bad. But in order to try to get more people to see us and want to come in, I mean, you have to pay more ads, but then it doesn't necessarily mean there's the ROI on it. And the interesting thing I'm seeing too is that people are booking very last minute.
Yeah.
Which is different than we've seen before. Most of the time people are planning really pretty far out. But we've seen days, almost double in bookings, like 1 or 2 days before. So, which is also interesting to plan for, because then we're like, well, it's slow this week, so we can cut some staffing, unfortunately, or not prep as much. And then 2 days later, it's the other way around. I mean, not that I complain about that, but...
When do you stop accepting reservations?
Midnight the night before.
Okay.
So really pretty last minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's not, a multi-day in advance thing.
Right.
Some places do. Some tea rooms, it's like you can't make changes, or they don't take reservations, less than 2 days, 3 days ahead of time.
So when you talk about return on investment. And sorry, I'm just like, so now I want to troubleshoot this. I kind of want to like think through like, we talk about the return on investment of ads. And like, obviously to run the ad, it costs money. And that's what you're trying to do to get butts and seats.
Right.
Is there at any point do you play with discounts and ads? Like maybe hyper localize the ad so it's lower spend per day, hoping to get bookings, but that ad spend comes with like 5% off or something like that. Because right, like which way do you think the consumers would respond to right now? Is it just getting it in front of their eyeballs, or do we think we need to try to get it in front of their eyeballs with a discount to meet where maybe they're uncertain about something?
I don't think it's the price point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a higher price point because it's a huge amount of food and tea. And
it's so much.
I don't think it's that. I think it is everyone is afraid to spend money right now.
And that's the only reason why I think maybe a discount, because then it's like, okay, well, I see this business.
But that's not the priority. People are afraid to spend money on everything.
Yeah.
So their daily coffee, maybe they're willing to, that's the one constant.
We see it's interesting because we do see people, they pull back, but they can only hold out for so long before they break the habit and they go right back to their old habits. So yes, like it is something that they keep in their spending list. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So no, I do think like overall, I think it's not wanting to spend. So we'll maybe not go to something we would normally do right now. We're going to wait and see, right? I feel like we're kind of in a wait and see. But I will say, like our bingo event that's coming up tomorrow, this week, has booked out, and we have lots of people coming, which is great because that also sometimes is hit or miss. Like sometimes it's only 20 people, and then sometimes it sells out and it's 50 people, and it is the craziest thing to try to plan for because we really don't have consistent traffic.
Right.
I mean, I have seen over the years, April is always terrible, and I do not know why. It baffles me. I don't understand.
When is the spring break in Arizona?
It's usually in March.
Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, it's really strange. And then obviously summer. Summer is rough. Yeah. So that's when we really try to plan different events in the summer to bring people in. It's a hard thing to balance, but the social media side, we really only focus on social media, right? And then Google Ads. So the only lever I have is to pay more. Yeah. But I do think people still are like, oh, I live right around the corner and I didn't know you were there. I've never heard of it. That sounds so fun. It's very interesting. Yeah. Now the other ad or paid to play kind of thing, I don't know if you've done one, but have you paid to do like a TV news magazine, like a paid promotional spot?
So we haven't done paid TV. All of our TV has been earned. We've done a paid radio ad. We did NPR ads a couple of years in a row. That's the only. Yeah, we saw some traction. You did, but again, we're a progressive business advertising on NPR.
Yeah, well, no, that makes sense. And the ROI was worth it.
I mean, yes, it was worth. It wouldn't be worth it for long term, but when I do it, it's the partnership that the NPR has with Local First, which makes it more affordable, which makes it more. Yeah.
So we just did that too. So we have one coming out the weekend before Mother's Day. We just did a video news magazine, and it was a paid opportunity, but it was Local First negotiated the price down, and all the businesses that are participating were Local First businesses, which is great. And also the ones that I saw that were there when we were there were all women-owned businesses.
That's even better.
So yeah, so that seemed like a good opportunity. We'll see. And also we were able to really steer that conversation to what we wanted to promote.
Right.
Because it'll come out the week before Mother's Day, but usually Mother's Day is booked before that period of time. We'll see this year. So it was really more geared toward like our online store, and we're doing a tea sale. So we were able to kind of drive that promotion, which is great. But then on the other side, the chance opportunities that come up where you go do a news interview.
Yeah.
Which we just did.
Yep.
And just for the record, you and I both do not enjoy that process at all.
So
we hate the video interviews so much.
We've talked about this. I think on our first episode, we talked about we both hate the sound of our voice and we both hate ourselves on camera.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do? We'll start a podcast and let's be on TV.
Well, yes. It's the necessary evil, I guess.
It is.
Just so we can just record these conversations we have all the time. But
yeah.
So it's the interesting one is the free ones.
Yep.
Sometimes you get to drive the conversation, and sometimes it's like trying not to derail the conversation because it's veering off course crazy, in a crazy way. Those are interesting too. And I don't know that, I feel like maybe once in a while I'll have somebody come in and say, oh, I saw you on the news. But it's really, I don't know what the traction rate is on that either.
And that's the thing that's really hard. I think, again, looking at the two different business models that we have, because like for me, I say it's worth it because my goal is to keep people seeing Brick Road. Like they need to keep seeing it so they remember it. So they're like, I'm going to go, that's going to be my morning coffee. I'm going to get that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. What is it? 7 or 12 times they have to see it to remember. So you're trying to build those habits, and I'm trying to do it from a much more attainable price point because of the entry. Like it's like $6 for a coffee. Okay, great. 10 times that for tea service per person. So it's just like, it's two different experiences. So I think for what you are doing, it makes sense to be, maybe doing a little bit more paid ad because you, especially video.
Yeah.
After doing like the 12 news, and I know that, or the one that wasn't that was free,
the free one,
the earned one.
Yep.
That we just did, like that type of visual, seeing what that gets, because it's hard. You tell people it's like, yeah, you can book afternoon tea, and this is what it is, and they look at the price point and they're like, oh. But when you see the tower of just the sheer enormous amount of food that is accessible for anybody to eat in front of you, and like the endless list of teas that you have, like it puts it into perspective in a way that I don't think even a static photo on Instagram or stuff like that can do. So I think understanding the value of different forms of marketing.
Well, also, those are things that I'm not going to ever turn down.
The free ones, no.
Unless, the other ones, if we can't afford it, I say no all the time. But the free ones, I think they asked like 2 days before or something. So had to like turn it around really fast. But, and also, by the way, when we say we did this news event recording thing, Gabe was bringing he was pulling the wagon with all the bins with all the stuff in it.
I was PR Barbie.
Yep, you were PR, so you're helping me set up the kitchen counter with all the things and taking all the behind the scenes footage. So
yeah, it was fun.
Yes, PR Barbie. Yeah, thank you for that.
Everybody needs a business spouse. I feel like like at this point, this is what we are. Like our husbands can go off. Well, we already have engagement photos from them.
Yeah. For them. Yes. But so it is also like understanding, like, I don't want to be here right now. And I'm going to forget everything I'm supposed to say, even though they have, a teleprompter with some of them, not all of them. Usually I don't have something in front of me. I just have to wing it.
Yep.
Right. But, I still didn't get half of the things into the interview that I wanted to say, but I think it was fine.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic.
But when you do the free ones, is it just about Brick Road, or is it usually about an event or a question or tariffs or something?
Yeah. So one of the reasons why we get so much earned media, I think, is because I never say no, and I have an opinion on everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like, oh, you want to come talk to me about tariffs? Okay.
Yeah.
So Yeah, we got a couple weeks ago, we got a random call from, I think it was Fox, the local Fox station. They were like, can we come talk to you about tariffs? And I was like, sure. Just 5 minutes. They were in and out. We recorded it. It's great. So like, that's the free media. Like, that's the type of stuff where it's like, that's marketing to me.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, I'm telling people, A, where my values are, where I stand and what I believe and how I operate my business. And B, it gets my business in front of people's eyeballs.
Mm-hmm. But it does. And I think there is a large part of the community, at least in our city, where people do want to spend with businesses that align with their values.
Yes.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the younger generations too, right? Millennials and Gen Z, we all want to spend money where we know
right. I think
it matters.
I think we are seeing the end of boycott culture, if you will. I think instead of seeing like traditional boycotts, I don't think are happening. I think the focus that I've been feeling and seeing is like, it's not so much about where not to spend money. It's about where to spend money. So it's in essence, it's kind of functioning like a boycott, but it's less focused on who we're not spending money with and more focused on elevating and lifting up who we want to spend money on. And I feel like we're seeding that on a slower, smaller scale, but I feel like that's going to be what we see continue, the trend we see continue in the future.
Well, I hope that's the case.
I
mean,
so
I
too.
do think there are some very specific boycotts happening right now.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, if people, start to really pay attention to their small businesses and their local communities instead of the easy online orders.
Yep.
Or really see where your money is going.
Yeah.
Like who actually owns this company and what are their values?
And who are they donating to?
But I do think people are doing more research on that now.
Yes, they are.
I feel like people are doing that homework.
Yeah, I think we're at an age where we have to do that. And that's where marketing helps because you can tell so much of your story by your marketing. Like I've seen some truly incredible marketing and I'm like the biggest thing that's frustrating me right now is not having my like roasting business up and running. Like it is under construction. And so like there's only so much coffee I can go through at a time right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just very frustrating.
Getting
it's
close.
Like, I know. We're like 2 weeks away, hopefully. But I've been wanting to do like these like TikToks that I've been seeing where they're just boxing up an order.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're talking about how like
this is for Jody in Minnesota
who doesn't want to burn down our democracy and like all this stuff. And I'm like, I want to do this stuff. I want to do like passive aggressive. Sign me up. I'm a bitchy queen that grew up. I'm a bitchy millennial queen. I can be passive aggressive as fuck. Let me at this.
Yeah.
I want to do it. But I'm afraid to right now because if I do it right now, well, there's nothing to buy.
Right.
So
yeah.
Like, I don't want it to go viral and then have nothing to like sell.
You gotta like hold back just a little bit longer.
I know.
Until you have coffee again.
I know.
Everything has to go to Brick Road right now.
Once I have my coffee roaster up and my new label printer where I can custom print labels, like the sheer number of like passive aggressive special roasts that are going to come out of that coffee roaster.
That's going to be great.
I cannot wait.
That's going to be, well, see, that's the fun kind of marketing.
It is.
Right?
Is, where I just get to be my shady self and be like,
Yeah, that's the fun part where you can be creative and you can make something like funny and fun.
Yep.
And
oh my God. So we're getting a new roaster and the new roaster, we have to season it. Whenever you get a new roaster, you have to season the drum, like cast iron skillets and yada, yada, yada.
Right.
But essentially you just like burn the shit out of beans in there. And so like, we're going to have some really burnt beans and I kind of just want to package them and sell them as like Trump's coffee or I don't know. I have to come up with some creative way of doing it, but like burn in hell roast.
It's the, what is it? It's basically the fuck around and find out coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're finding out.
Drink your juice, Shelby.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Although I'm not going to lie, I probably would like burnt coffee. I know that sounds really messed up, but
yeah, I'm kind of curious to try it.
I would probably be a fan of it.
I'm still going to try it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it's still coffee.
Yes.
It might be the most disgusting thing I've ever had. Who knows?
I don't know. We've had some really bad wine.
We've had some.
I honestly think burnt coffee would probably be better than some of the wine that we've had. One time, I'm going on the tangent. We were somewhere and their wine literally smelled like gasoline.
Yeah.
It was awful. Terrible.
Yeah.
Who let that go into a bottle? Oh, awful.
Who doesn't want?
Yeah. So I think the fun marketing with new packaging and labels and creative names, that's really the fun.
Yeah.
The fun part of it. Well, also, I mean, I think this is fun. You're creative this way too. And I think this is fun too, but like creating swag and creating stickers and creating merch. Like you just get these ideas in the middle of the night.
Our best-selling shirt right now is the Be Gay, Drink Coffee, Fight Fascism shirt.
Yep, absolutely.
And that was just me pissed off. I pulled my head out of my little like protective bubble and I read something online about the news about what's going on in this shithole of a fucking administration. And I was like, God damn it. And so I went on to Canva and I started creating and then I put it on a shirt. I ordered way more than I thought I was ever going to sell for the store and they're sold out.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, one, it's very recognizable.
Yes.
But even without them knowing it's Brick Road, they love the shirt. People love the shirt.
Yeah.
So whenever you're wearing it, it's like you're a celebrity.
Yeah.
Like little old ladies want to come take pictures with you. Yeah. People at concerts get really like excited. Love your shirt.
It's really weird. It's like, and it's one thing where it's like to wear a shirt where that's like kind of the response is like one thing, but then to like wear it and then be the one that's like, this was just me like on my couch on a random Thursday night, pissed off.
Yeah. See,
being like, I'm going to design this.
That's the fun part.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's been more than just that one.
Yeah.
Like, but it's all marketing though.
It is.
Even that it came out of this pissed off night, right?
Yep.
All the dumb news happening. But I mean, that's marketing. Everything we do. The other thing that I think is values aligned most of the time and fun, but really no ROI is the donations.
Oh God. Yeah.
Right? Everybody wants a donation. Everybody wants a gift card. Everybody wants a box to raffle off with swag and stuff. And, it adds up.
It does.
Like most donation boxes are $100 or $200 worth of stuff.
Yeah. No, last year we did our initial look. We haven't even fully finished making sure we categorize everything right yet, but we were over $11,000 in donations last year.
And we do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have that many, but we do the donations because of whatever the organization is that we want to help or believe in. But I would say we only get to a tenth of the emails that come in asking for donations.
Yep.
And there's really no ROI. There's right. Nobody's seeing that and going, oh yeah, I want to go there. Right. Like if they don't win it, they forget all about it.
Yep.
So that's also kind of an interesting aspect of.
Yeah. The donations are a huge one. Sponsorships, same way. I think sponsorships, those can have a little bit more ROI. And again, I think so hard for me to even try to quantify what drives what.
Yeah.
A, because we do way more than we probably should, but B, because it's the sheer number of people that come through our door every day, right? We don't know how many are coming because they saw us at a raffle, how many are coming because they saw a shirt walk down the street. But that's the goal, right? The goal is to get the marketing to a point where it's sustaining and growing business.
Yeah.
Not necessarily where you're trying to be okay, that's what is driving people to find me.
If you can afford to do all the things at once.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you kind of have to figure out what's actually working.
Yeah. And that's why for us, we dialed back and we just do we'll always do the mobile orders just because that's a huge portion of our business. And then we'll do the static Google ad just so we keep SEO where it's at or whatever that benefit is. I don't know. There's some benefit for it, but that's Ashley, if you're still listening, that's your job to figure out why I do that. Yeah, I don't know. But that is something that we kind of have to do. But that allows me to pull back on some of the other advertising spends so I can focus on like more donation based advertising, because then that's putting hopefully values aligned people. But I have gotten into the habit of I will start vetting who I'm donating to a little bit more. Like I get frustrated, and this was brought up at the Good Business Summit too, with Local First. I get frustrated seeing people ask for donations, and then it, like for a sports team, a little kid soccer league. And then if you go, like I've had people that have kids in that league, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll sponsor it because they're in there. And then I talk to them and it's like, oh yeah, we went to the game and they had Starbucks boxed coffee. It's like, you're asking me for money and donations and sponsorship. And then when you're getting a box of coffee for the parents at this practice or game or whatever it is, you're going to fucking Starbucks? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't think people really connect it all. So
they want it free from the small business because
Yes.
the big business isn't going to give it to them.
right.
But then they will pay the big business, which is convenient, which I get it. They can afford the grade A commercial property on the corners right by their house. But you know what? You went out of your damn way to pick up whatever I donated to you. So
Yes. Well, this happened last night. We had an
Mhm.
event. It was a day we were closed, and this event planner needed a space because the RSVPs for her event was way bigger than the place she was going to have it at originally. They couldn't hold it. So I had my team come in. I even brought someone else in just for the day because we were anticipating a lot of people to be there. A quarter of them showed up and no one bought anything.
Yep.
So I opened my business on a day off that we normally don't have employees working, and prepped a bunch of stuff, drinks and food for this event. And then really no one came and no one bought anything.
Yep.
So it was an absolute loss.
Yeah.
So, but in that meeting, the organizer did say something like, hey, this small business opens just for us so we can meet. And, we're so grateful. They brought people in. We're disappointed that not as many people showed up as we expected. And then people were very argumentative about it. Like, well, we should just have this at a school or a church or blah, blah, blah. I'm like you're totally missing supporting your community and supporting your small business. Yeah. You don't get it at all. You don't understand the connection. They're grateful for your sponsorship at this Little League game or whatever it is, but it doesn't even cross their mind that then that's who they should be supporting. Yep. Right. I really do think if you don't own a business, you don't automatically see that connection. Right. The community connection, the customers supporting businesses, aligning with your values, it's all circular. But I don't think people really put that all together.
No. And I think that's what I would love to see change. The more people get maybe some consciousness around small businesses. I feel like you see that in small rural towns. You will see that in small rural towns because they're forced. It's proximity.
Yep.
Right. But as soon as you give people the convenience, they're going to take convenience over anything every day. And it's frustrating because then I hear people say, well, oh, I loved that place. Why did they go out of business?
Yes.
Because you never fucking went there.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
You would sit there and you would like their posts. You wouldn't share it to your network. You would just like it, or just scroll right on by. And then you would ask us for a donation and we would give it to you. And then you would get your coffee from a corporate chain.
Yeah. Well, and then what people will, when we're out and about, people will say, oh, I always follow you on Instagram. I've been wanting to go for so long.
Go before I close, bitch.
Exactly. I'm like, well, I don't know how long I'm going to be around. So sooner is better.
Yep.
But they just don't understand it. I think people just assume we open a small business and then we're just going to be there forever. But so many are closing.
Yep. And not only so many are closing, so many long-standing ones are closing. And I think that's where people get a little bit of complacency. Maybe that's what our ads need to be. Going out of business.
Oh, yeah.
Going out of business sale.
Mm-hmm.
Full price. We're just trying to pay the last few people.
I know. It is really interesting. And I guess It's partially educating people
Yeah.
on how it all does work together. But, all we can do is market as much as we can just to hope we don't spend all of our money on marketing.
And just as a disclaimer, like I don't give a shit if somebody asks me for a sponsorship for their little league team and then they don't buy my coffee for their events. Just buy an independent coffee shop's coffee.
Yeah.
Like, don't buy Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. Like, that's like the bar is so low. Like, my biggest thing is like, if you are supporting a local business, I look at that as you're supporting me.
Yeah, because the money you spend at Starbucks doesn't stay here.
Right.
It doesn't stay in your neighborhood. It doesn't stay in the city that you're buying it in. It's going to corporate headquarters.
Yep. Just a little bit of tax stays. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, I just want to clarify that. It's like, I don't want to sound so entitled. Like, oh, if you get a sponsorship from me, you have to buy a coffee. No, I don't fucking care. Just buy from your, like whatever local coffee or tea joint is the closest to your house that isn't corporate. Like it's not hard.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
It is that convenience that you said, which is a hard one to overcome. But I mean,
not if people look, especially being in the Phoenix metro area, there are so many coffee shops.
Yeah.
That are independently owned. Like literally our infrastructure of local coffee shops is huge.
But you have to park and get out of your car and walk to the door to go in and get your coffee.
Wham, wham, wham. Go away.
Instead of staying in your car and having it like on the app.
That shit. DoorDash it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can outsource it.
Right. Make somebody else get out of their car.
Outsource the convenience of it.
Right. Like,
yeah.
Jesus. It's not hard.
Okay, I have one more thing about marketing.
Okay. One final thought before we wrap up.
One final thought. The other thing that I feel like I've seen impact my business and your business is the social capital and networking. And I don't like networking. I really hate networking and I don't do it. But it is more about like the friends I've made that own small businesses that tell me about other things. Or like my friend owns a vegan soap company in Phoenix and she told me about a market. And so I participated in that market because she always had really successful sales at this specific market. So it's more of that kind of friend network or like friendly business network that I think grows your social capital. Because then people will ask questions like, oh, how did you do this? Or where did you find out about this thing or the other? And I feel like that's also marketing.
Yes.
But not in a gross, icky, here's my business card way.
Yep.
Right? I that part I don't do. I won't go to a paid mixer to hand out my business cards. That doesn't get me anything.
Yep.
But just being out in the wild and talking to people and I feel like you actually promote my business more than I do if we're out somewhere.
And I feel like you do the same for my business. It's so much easier to promote somebody else's.
Yeah. But I do think that's another aspect of it that is really not overt.
Right.
And also not calculated. Like I don't go to meet up with somebody for coffee thinking about marketing.
Right.
Right. I go to talk to them and...
But I also think like you bring up social capital and I think it brings up another really good point. We've gotten extremely involved in our community.
Yeah.
And yes, everything is marketing and it is by default marketing because us spending our time with an organization or at an event or doing something like that.
Volunteering.
It is going to inherently bring our businesses into it because we are the owners of that business. We're not necessarily doing those things for the marketing, but we're not oblivious to the fact that it is marketing.
Right.
But I think one of the things that I know I've been frustrated about was like, there's been a few things that we volunteer our time for and people are like, well, what's their agenda?
Yeah.
It's like, get over it. Like my agenda is to try to pay my staff a living wage and try to make this city a little bit better.
It is.
Like, everybody is so like starts becoming so skeptical. And it's just like, yeah, there's no, I'm not denying that me being involved in this organization is marketing for my business. That's literally how you market half of these organizations, whether it be a social group or like Rotary or whatever it is. Like it's to extend your, like you market it as networking. Chambers do it, all that stuff. Like, so yeah, I'm not oblivious to that, but like now because I, the business owner, have been involved for multiple years. Wait, now you're worried about what my motivation is?
It's being involved. It's building community.
It's building community.
Which then circles back and bringing people into our business.
Right. I don't think people understand that ethos that we're trying to create. It's like we're trying to create a stronger community by being involved in our community so we can, yes, be a broken record and talk about how the fact that you shouldn't ask for a sponsorship from my coffee shop and then go buy Starbucks.
Right.
I'm just going to keep using that as my example. But it's that ethos that we're trying to create. Like, I'm not trying to get people necessarily to buy coffee from my business. I'm trying to get people to understand the importance of, if you're going to ask a small business for their donations, which you always will, which is fine, and that's what we're here for, and that's what we will always do, just be more conscious about the fact that they are the ones that are volunteering at your local organizations. They might even be coaching at another T-ball league or something like that. So be mindful of that when you go to your team dinner, and don't go to a chain, go to a local restaurant, go to a local coffee shop. Those are the types of decisions that I'm trying to help people remind them of. So my big ulterior motive is to get people to stop supporting big corporate chains.
Yeah, but also it is just being part of the community that we work and live in.
That's why
like we need to know what's happening. We need to be aware of things, when the power is going to go out on the corner, or when they're going to be doing construction in front of your business
for the 14th time this year.
This will be the third time.
Thanks, City of Tempe.
that it'll be happening literally right in front of the driveway of your business. It's going to happen to mine too, but
but it just opened up like a couple weeks ago, and like
from the last,
it wasn't even open for a week, and then we got a postcard in the mail saying it's closing down until September. I was like, I'm gonna scream.
Yeah.
So,
well,
me going to city council to complain about it, that's marketing.
It is. I don't know if it's, people will see it as positive marketing, but some will.
Some will.
Some will definitely see it that way.
Love it. Yeah. Yeah. So I think, we could talk for hours about marketing, and I think we've done a good job. Hopefully you guys tell us of kind of just highlighting how everything is marketing.
It is.
We're always working on something. We're always trying to get ourselves out there. And I think the biggest thing that I hope anybody that listens to this episode takes away, support local.
Yes.
Just support local. Don't need to buy from our businesses. Although if you do, that's wonderful, and we love you for that. But support local.
Yeah. It makes a huge difference in your community, in your neighborhood, with your neighbors.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if people even realize, like, Brick Road's doing well. And the better Brick Road does, the better it helps your business.
Yes.
Because we source all of our gluten-free and vegan pastries from your business. So that's
and tea. Yes.
That's the circular economy that we've created. And so it's just like, you can support Book Tea service because it is amazing, and you're missing out if you haven't done it. But you can also support businesses. Again, that's why it's so important to just support local.
Well, and then also if people come in to have tea and have cocktails, or come to bingo and buy cocktails, that's supporting another local business.
Right.
Because I buy spirits from a Wild Hare in Tempe,
which is a local distillery.
Yes. So, because we're trying to make sure we're partnering with small local businesses as well.
Yep.
It all stays in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that I really hope people start to understand, and share it with your network, and just wherever they're at in the country. Like that's what Main Street America does, is we buy from other small businesses wherever we can. And that's why so much more impact is felt on the local economy. So
yeah. And then we don't have to be the dickheads that are the corporate billionaires that keep laying off thousands and thousands of people.
Right. Maybe we should start maybe that's the marketing we need to do. Start like a corporate pledge of like small, or like a corporate pledge. I did air quotes for those of you that are listening, which is clearly all
Everyone.
of you. A corporate pledge.
We haven't taken the leap to video yet.
No, but a corporate pledge where small businesses can go on there and say, I promise not to build myself a dick rocket.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I don't know. I promise not to force the destruction of an ancient bridge in Europe so I can get my oversized yacht out. Schultz. So like, yeah, like those are the simple pledges I want to pledge to. Like,
yeah. The no-brainers.
Yeah. I won't blast myself into the atmosphere in a dick rocket.
And use up all those resources.
Yep.
I know.
To launch a new album.
Nope. Nope to that.
Yay. Oh, I thought we were going to end on a happy note, and then I just took us there. Dick rockets.
Dick rockets.
Who doesn't love dick rockets?
I don't love them.
I don't love dick rockets either. But yeah. So, well, I think that's all the time we have. So
yes,
make sure.
because it's time for wine.
It is wine o'clock.
It is wine o'clock.
Yep. So make sure to like this episode. Even if you hated it, please do it. It helps us. You're supporting a small business when you do that.
And the local economy.
And the local economy. The entire local economy rests on your shoulders right now on whether or not you like this podcast or follow us on social media.
Yes.
And that's at Join the Chaos Podcast. At Join the Chaos Podcast on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah, send us your comments. Let us know what we should talk about next. We're moving away from any form of scripting. So you're just going to get a lot more rambling and ranting. And I hope you enjoy it because that's chaos.
Yes,
so,
yes, it is. I like how we've descended into chaos over these episodes.
First of all, anybody still listening, like, let's be honest. Like, we were every week for the first like 2-3 weeks. And then we were like, oh, crap. This is really tough to keep up with.
Yeah, there's a lot happening.
We're recording it and we're editing it ourselves and we're publishing it. And like, we probably should post something on social at some point too.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we probably should do that. Mm-hmm. So like we're like, oh, okay, we'll do it every 2 weeks. And we did that. And now we're recording this the day after the 2 weeks is up. Yeah. So like
it will be very chaotic.
Hey, we at least named it right.
Absolutely.
So at this point, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time we decide to post.
It's time for wine.